Today's topic, friends, I had been thinking about it for some years actually. The word affluenza, being victims of affluenza. This word, as you know, is a combination, a blend of two words. When we do not have something, a ready-made word, then we make words. It is like we had the tablet and phone. So some tablets work as phones, so it gets called phablet. So it is. Or when scientists could not find the proper description of light, whether it is a particle or wave, they coined another word, it is wavicle. It's particle and wave combined, so it is wavicle. Some say, somewhat in a humorous vein, that we have this FedEx and UPS. If they merge, then what will be the name? They said fed up. So it is. So these are kind of combined words. So like that, affluence and influenza. Influenza is a serious pathological condition, and affluence is considered a good thing, that yes, I have many things that I want, everything that I want in excess actually. And it is sometimes considered good. But that leads to a pathological condition. And it is not the psychologists and others, they differ as to what should be the exact definition of it. Sometimes it is projected as the feeling of tremendous frustration because you are not meeting your goals and you keep on striving, struggling and getting frustrated every time. You have plenty and yet it is not enough. It is like one restaurant man, he was complaining that the business is not good these days. His friend said, but I see always you are full. In fact, there is the sign outside that no room. He said, yes, but in my restaurant it is full, but only about 25 to 30 go back seeing the full sign. The other restaurant there, they have 50 people go back seeing the full sign. And now practically it makes no difference, but yet this fellow is so disturbed because of that it is enough, plenty. Is it enough? Plenty, but not enough. It is that the feeling is there. Also it gives rise to some other ideas, and many psychologists, they tend to define it in that terms, that affluenza is a condition where a person feels that he has a lot of money or many connections, many other resources, because of which he or she doesn't have to suffer the consequences of actions. That I can do many things, and the lesser mortals will have to suffer the serious injurious consequences of those actions. But because I am a moneyed man, I am special, I can buy everything, I can buy justice, I can make a team of lawyers stand for me because of my money and power and connections. I will not have to do that. And especially it gets referred to when a person has a lot of money. But actually, it is not really having money and not having money. In the sense of our understanding that somebody is a millionaire or a billionaire and somebody has just about enough to survive. Affluenza can be in either of the groups, not that it is only with lot of money people and it will not be for a middle class family. No, affluenza is not necessarily limited only to people who have huge money like millionaires or billionaires. No. It is anything more than you can handle. Somebody can handle billions without having any problem, without having affluenza. And somebody cannot handle even say 25,000 without having affluenza. It is how much our capacity to handle the things that we have that determines it. Whether we are affected by it or not affected by it. And it is like all diseases, it is a condition of imbalance. Various things that we have, we do not really find proper use for it. And thus they create problem, like the food, for example. We eat more than what is needed. Now it creates an imbalance, and the food, therefore, instead of becoming the life-giving thing, threatens life. It is so food becomes killer rather than an instrument for survival. Food could become killer if you have it in too much quantity, more than one can handle. So also all this, it is important therefore to see these things in proper perspective. And therefore, let us quickly take a look at it. This affluenza term has been a topic of a big book, a movie, and so forth. Also, not too long ago, a criminal case had been defended. The defense lawyers deny that they use the term affluenza as a legal defense, but the expert that they had brought specifically used this term to get their client absolved of the consequences of the act that were committed, which otherwise would have landed that person probably behind the bars for the rest of the life. But because of certain reasons, that term affluenza was used, that he was a kid of affluent parents, and so parents could buy many things, and so this reckless kid didn't have to get a prison term. So at that time this word affluenza became again a current term. It really makes us think as to what are the requirements that we have as human beings. As human beings, we all have needs at physiological level. As bodies, we have bodies. So as bodies, we have certain needs. Then there are the psychological needs, and there are the spiritual needs. Also, another thing that gets many times overlooked is the needs are on individual level as well as community level. We live in society. I am an individual, but also I am, say, a resident of Providence. I am, say, in this Vedanta community. I am a citizen of a particular nation and so forth. I am American and I am a world citizen. So we live in a community. There is the needs therefore have at these two levels, physical needs of one body and the physical needs of the community. Similarly, the psychological needs of an individual and psychological needs of a community. These are very important things because even at the psychological level, a person is not an island for himself or herself. There is a constant communication, communion, interdependence that is going on, which is a dynamic process actually. The interdependence of individual to society and society to individual is a complex dynamic process. So, we are not even at the physical level, certainly we are not. But even at the mental level, we are not independent of the society. It is a dynamic that between I and the others. So the needs are also to be seen at both levels, not just my need. I may be, for example, at the physical level, I may be feeling the need of certain things. But if the surroundings are not capable of providing it, I need, for example, to construct a house. And in the whole world, imagine, at least in a vicinity that I am in, no building material is available at all. Nobody puts it out. Will I be able to fulfill my wish? I will not be able to. And nobody is ready there to bring material there. There is no availability of it. So therefore it is an interdependence that at the physical level. So also at the level of thought, my thoughts are influencing others. The thoughts go out and they come in. So that is the need at the psychological level. And at the spiritual level, I have some goal in life. I feel some objectives in my life, and I have the feeling that I must realize them. It is a very vague feeling, but it is real, friends, that at the spiritual level too we have a need, a feeling of fulfillment, satisfaction, which goes beyond what is considered as this psychological need. Many in modern times may question this. What is this spiritual need? There is nothing like spiritual, It is. We can understand physical needs, we can understand psychological needs, but there is nothing like spiritual need. There is nothing like spirit. So it is. But at many when they ponder deeper, they can see this need, that we have a spiritual need too. So as human beings, we have all these needs and therefore efforts to fulfill these needs. They go on. Now, there has to be a channeling from one level to the next level. Like food needs to be channeled for having the use of it. If it is only in the cooking pot, even if it is huge quantity, I can die hungry if it is not put in the mouth. So I need to take it in plate or whatever and put it in the mouth. But if it gets stuck only in the oral cavity, it doesn't go down, then again it is of no use. So there has to be, a process of proper channeling of the food. It has to go properly in and thus at every level again it changes its form. When it is cooked, it is in one form. You put it in your mouth, it is in one form. As it goes down, the form changes. So it is all this, the transformation from one level to the next level goes on. So when the physical needs, they are met, and let me tell that met is a very relative term. For some it is met, for some it is not met. The same amount would be sufficient for somebody it may not be. The question is then that what do we do with that physical well-being? It needs to be taken to the next level. It should enrich us psychologically. It should provide just physical well-being, that I have enough food to eat, I have a nice house to live in, I have clothings, and that's it. But then what do you do with this body that is that you are nourishing and protecting? There has to be now the next level, otherwise there won't be a fulfillment there. Just as food, I have lot of food in the pot. Now if it remains there, it is no use. Or if it just put in the mouth and gets stuck there, it is no use. It has to proceed further to enrich my whole being. So also the physical level satisfaction of needs should now take it to the next level, that it is a psychological nourishment, a well-being at that level, that sense of going in the right direction. That is how this psychological fulfillment comes, that yes, I feel happy, I feel satisfied, I do not get irritated much, I do not become angry much, I feel a sense of love, I feel a sense in general of having good intentions and benevolent feelings. So there is a state of psychological well-being. I feel about the society, I try to do my bit for it, and that is at a level psychologically you feel good. Yeah, I study, I like to get more and more knowledge, I like arts and so forth. So I try to enrich my mind. Then it has to go to the next level, spiritual enrichment. And there the value system comes in. And at all these three levels, there is we have to see the values. What value we consider superior to the other value. The value system is very important, so that when we place proper value to things, then there is no imbalance. Everything has a value. Now, if we overvalue something or undervalue something, then there is an imbalance. We have to give therefore the proper valuation. There is this science of values. A beautiful book, maybe a few copies could be there in the bookstore, by Swami Ranganathananda, a beautiful book, Vedanta and Science of Values. Science of Values, an important topic really, that how much value we give to something. Yes, I have money. How much value do I give to money? I have food. How much value I give to food? I have a house to live in. Yes, how much value do I give to it? All these are very important considerations. And when we give the right value, then the things become, they fall in right place and lead to the well-being. Well-being is that when we are progressing in the right direction, then we have the sense of well-being. Like you feel good when you are traveling in the right direction. You see the milestones that you had written in the directions. You see that, yes, I want to go to New York. I started with New York 180 miles. Now I see New York 150 miles. So you feel that you are moving in the right directions. So that is a sense of well-being. When you see that I started New York 180 miles and now the sign shows New York 200 miles, then you feel that things are not well. I have mistaken something. So there is a big problem. So the well-being gets disturbed when the expectations are not met. So a sense of well-being is when we see that we are, as human beings, progressing in the right direction. When the overvaluation comes, and that happens to most of us, especially because we give too much importance to our physical existence. Let us face the fact, friends. It is painful, but if we are called, you are a heap of flesh, blood, urine, dung and all that, we will like that? No. We are, no, I'm not that. But if we identify ourselves with body, we are just that. We do that. We identify ourselves with body and therefore tremendously overvalue the physical well-being and thus get stuck into it, accumulate more and more to the extent that now we get killed under its burden. That becomes a big disease to us, that lot of these things get collected and the disease manifests as all the things that we would despise in others. In others means in our infatuation we feel that they are all right for us. Arrogance, for example, we would consider it is a bad thing. It is a vice to be despised. But if I have a lot of money or some social prestige because of certain position, my arrogance is all right. It is we automatically start, because whatever money or physical things that we have, we are not able to digest it. It is too much for us to handle. So arrogance develops, greed develops. The respect for others is lost. A person becomes insensitive. If we want to, understand or get a good list of these things, you can see in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a list of all the demonic features that a person can have. That is a veritable demon. This affluenza increases those symptoms to such an extent that the person's life becomes a bane to himself or herself and to the society too. there is always irritation, dissatisfaction, a sense of floggy head, cannot really decide what to do. All this becomes a big issue because so many things that those things overwhelm us, and that is a condition of disease. And overvaluation of money is very common because we see that all our needs can be fulfilled only if I have money. If I have money, then I can buy everything. All my needs are therefore put into one abstract unit called money. If I have got money, then it doesn't matter, nothing matters. I can buy everything. Karl Marx, in his essay on money, has mentioned this very graphically, emphatically, that how money therefore perverts the whole value system that we otherwise have. The values are all overturned. And let me quote, in that article actually Karl Marx has quoted Faust and also Shakespeare. Let me read from his quote of Shakespeare. He says that, well, gold, yellow, glittering, precious gold. No gods, I am no idle votarist. Thus much of this will make black white, foul fair, wrong right, base noble, old young, coward valiant. Why this? Will lug your priests and servants from your sides, pluck stout men's pillows from below their heads. This yellow slave will knit and break religions. Bless the accursed. So, that lies, I am quoting still, that lies on Diane's lap, thou visible God. Gold is, that is money, is seen as visible God. Other God in heaven are invisible. This is the visible God. So that is why people worship money. It is, and what does it do? It shoulders close impossibilities, those which otherwise would have been seen. Shakespeare says it shoulders otherwise impossible things. Further, Karl Marx comments now on this, that what I have is by no means now determined by my individuality. I am ugly, but I can buy for myself the most beautiful of women. Therefore, I am not ugly. For the effect of ugliness, its deterrent power is nullified by money. I, according to my individual characteristics, am lame, but money furnishes me with 24 feet. That there is a quote there earlier that, well, I can buy 6 stallions. I have money, so I have got their power. All their legs actually belong to me because I pay for it. So my lameness is substituted by that. Therefore, I am not lame. I am quoting again. I am bad, dishonest, unscrupulous, stupid. But money is honored and hence its possessor. Money is the supreme good, therefore its possessor is good. Money, besides, save me the trouble of being dishonest. I am therefore presumed honest. I am brainless, but money is the real brain of all things. And how then should its possessor be brainless? Besides, he can buy clever people for himself, and so forth. So, it is, Marx points out further that Shakespeare stresses especially 2 properties of money. One, it is the visible divinity. Like we do prayers to God, that God do give me this and I want this, and so money can give you all that. So money is the visible, veritable God that you can see. The transformation of all human and natural properties into their contraries, the universal confounding principle, it is confounding and distorting of things, impossibilities are soldered together by it. So it is therefore, and he uses that expression rather, it is the common war, the common procurer of people and nations. So that is what money. And when a person gets it, therefore, if the person cannot handle it, then it spreads like a disease. And first victims of that become the progeny, the children of people who have too much than it can be properly consumed. Because it all comes easy, it is so easy. Long back, when one motor bicyclist on a busy road was, going fast and like that zigzag, doing all sorts of circus things. So the gentleman sitting by my side said, it is not his, it is his father's money, I am sure. He is not careful about it at all. It is, such things happen. The children get that first because everything is easily available. Nothing, no restrictions at all. Nobody, the parents are tremendously busy in acquiring more and more and more of money. And so, with money I can do everything. Creates a tremendous disbalance. And that creates disrespect for things. When long back, one Swami who had gone to a circumambulation of a river, a sacred river in India, Narmada. So that river is known for this. The people go and circumambulate that holy river. It's about travel on foot for about close to 1600, 1700 miles. So, and on the course there are quite a few rules that you should not be carrying any money. You should not have, this and that. You should not go to a township. All those restrictions are there. You should adhere to the bank of the river and so forth. So, there what happens, he said, now you realize that you have whatever cloth you have, that is the only cloth you have. Its value now increases. Now you understand the value of it. Otherwise, throw it. It is rather old, so discard it. Not that it is not usable, but it is, throw it. The throw culture gets substituted by, pointing out to the value. That, yes, a little food has fallen on the ground, but no other food is available. You understand the value of a morsel of food there. You do not now disrespect it. You understand the proper value of things. He was explaining it so graphically to me that there, that your idea of wasting, throwing, and what is throwing, that it shows a disrespect for it. That is the main problem, that you don't want to use it, and so you with proper respect you discard it, that is one thing. It shows a psychological trait, friends. Do we realize it? That it is showing disrespect to it. And what is it? You are showing unconsciously or consciously disrespect to God. God is in that too. That is also part of creation of God. If we want to put it in a dualistic and theistic way, then we can say, yes, it is creation of God. Why are you disrespecting it? You should accord proper respect to it. So, that in Holy Mother's biography we read that beautiful incident that somebody was brooming a room, and then after the brooming is done, that person threw that broom in a corner, hurled it away. And then mother said, oh, the broom, it should be shown its proper respect. Pick it up, keep it reverentially. It helped you to clean the room. It did your work. And now you are showing disrespect to it by hurling like that? Not right. Show respect to it. It is very important, but when the affluenza sets in, this symptom comes that we start disrespecting things because we know, I can buy another one. I can get another one. This becomes so rampant. You can see the amount of food that is wasted in America. Another nation can be fed with that food. And it is not felt at all. Yeah, there is plenty of it. Come on. Plenty. Too much. We cannot really use it. And so a disrespect develops about these things, and it is actually disrespecting the divinity. Further things, that you are not happy, not satisfied, even if you have a lot, like that restaurant owner. He has plenty of customers that are paying him. He cannot actually accommodate any more, but yet is worried that only so few are returning every day. It is that kind of situation that I want more. And thus a person becomes frustrated. How much more? What more should I be getting? Because it is not channelized properly. If the food, I am eating lot of food that is not going beyond this, it is getting stuck here, not being consumed as such, then is it going to help if I stuff more? It is going to cause more agony. So, I am not able to use the things that I have already, and I want to pump in more. It is like that the food mouth is already full and you want to stuff more into it. That is the disease, friends. It is affluenza. As I mentioned earlier, let us not think that it affects only ultra-rich people. Not necessarily. Whosoever has that kind of a greed for money, anybody who overvalues money, the things do happen to all such people. That affluenza sets in. How much you need? Well, I remember an incident. We had a breakdown of vehicle long back, and then there was at night, and all the repair shops and all were closed. So we saw a little light open on that road in a tea shop, and then we had a little tea there and said that this is a big problem, what can be done, do you have any solution? He said, I understand, I know a person there, you knock on his door, he must be asleep by now, but he will open and do the work for you. And then he opened the door exactly as he has said that he did all the work. I was wondering now, at this dead of the night, he is doing all this work for us, how much money he will charge now. I was, of course, ready to pay more, but now he charged exactly what would have been normally charged had that shop been open in the daytime. And I myself tried to give him more. No, you took so much trouble for us, and you are obviously not a very rich person, a very shanty kind of little shop he had. So, but he refused to take. And he said, no, please, I won't take any extra money, because... And that is such an eye-opener. I still cherish that incident as a great lesson. He said that that kind of money does not get digested. It will only bring ill effects of it. So, it is an important thing. Compare, that how many people are so rich as that man. I would say that that person is very rich because he didn't need more money. Those who need more money, they are certainly beggars and poor. So, this is, you keep on seeking more, and that is the disease. That everything else loses kind of its importance in life. All of you might have heard about the Maslow's Hierarchy, therefore. A very beautiful way of taking the resources at one level to the next level, till it reaches its fulfillment. He says, I am giving in a nutshell here, but it's a very beautiful idea that yes, there is the idea of, that physical well-being, physiological needs of a person are there, then the needs for safety are there, then they feel that you come to a little psychological level where you feel the need for love, a sense of belonging, a connectedness and so forth. And then there is the need for esteem. That yes, I am important somebody. Yes, people consider that yes, I am an important person, and so the esteem is there. And then lastly, he says self-actualization, that where you realize all your potential and what Vedanta would call, you realize your true divine nature. That would be the proper solution for this problem of affluenza, putting things in proper order. That is how otherwise the victims of affluenza, there is no medication as such for that. The medication is this, that provide a proper channel to direct these resources so that the greed will get reduced. Otherwise, increasing greed and increasing dissatisfaction results in all sorts of psychological problems. In Vedanta, you see, these things are put in a little more comprehensive way because it takes into, while Maslow's hierarchy does not differentiate between the individual and the society. In fact, it is all around an individual that it mentions that yes, an individual has this self-actualization. In Vedanta, we have a hierarchy of values, and that are told as dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Dharma means having a foundation of righteousness. That cultivate in life, a child should be first made to cultivate these values of righteousness. Yes, be truthful. That is important thing, to respect everybody. So there are some rituals which are taught for that. The rituals as such are in themselves not very important, but the meaning, the idea behind that ritual is important. Many in the West do not understand that why I do certain things. If my foot, if I am walking, it hits a chair or something, I tend to, salute it. Why so? Why so? What is the point in doing that? I am, the feeling behind that is that, I do not mean to kick you, I do not mean to disrespect you. You have divinity in you, I respect that divinity. Not that this feeling is always, obvious there or actually there, but the ritual has that idea behind it. And many such things, say that these minor things. Yeah, you every morning you should kneel down before your parents and take their blessings. It is a beautiful idea, very difficult to mention to the kids here. But what does it mean? It means that yes, you are showing your indebtedness, your respect, your appreciation for all that they are doing for you. And what it brings out, from the parents is their blessings. They get the understanding of their responsibilities as parents. When you give respect to somebody, then that respect to that person makes that person understand their responsibility. That is why in many companies they give the big labels, you are the vice president of that company. Not that it brings a lot of financial benefits or anything, maybe more work, but the person feels, I am. So I should be more responsible now. So I am vice president, I am a proper representative of that company. So whatever the person may be just doing in a humorous vein, therefore they say that somebody who is a janitor there, he gets vice president sanitation, you see. So it is nothing wrong in that, but that person feels a responsibility. So when the kids salute the parents, what happens? That sense of responsibility in parents. I must do my duty to my kids. It is my responsibility to bring up the kids well. They should become good human beings. In Bengali they say that বাচ্চাদেরকে মানুষ করতে হবে, ভালো মানুষ যেন হোক, means what? They should become good people. It is not that they should become moneyed people. It is not that they should be big educationally very high achievers. No, main important thing is they should become good individuals. So that is a basic thing that is called dharma, that cultivate this righteousness. I don't want to go into the details, we don't have the time, but it is very beautiful if you see how this idea of, in this context, what dharma means. That is the first thing to be cultivated. Then, yes, we understand that you have desires and you want to fulfill those desires, very good. So, fulfill it now in a righteous way. What you have learned, what you have inculcated as the important values, fulfill your desires on the basis of that. So, do not go astray, do not run amok in that pursuit. With proper truthfulness, respect for the community, you fulfill your desires while taking up the corresponding responsibilities. It is not that I will fulfill my desires but will not be responsible for that. I will go and have a nice lunch in a restaurant and will run away, will not pay the bills. That is not the right thing at all. Every kind of pleasure or fulfillment of the desire entails a corresponding responsibility. And if I try to shirk away from that, that will create this affluenza. Sooner or later it is bound to create affluenza. And therefore, these are told that, well, you earn money, very good, dharma, artha, kama, desires are there, and for the fulfillment of desire, okay, you accumulate wealth, you earn wealth, money and all that. But while it is necessary, see that you are using it, not that it is using you. When money starts using us, we stop using money. Money becomes the boss. We are not boss of the money anymore. So, this is an important thing, friends, that to avoid affluenza, or if we are victims of affluenza, to cure affluenza, that then the moksha, that we must work. All this ultimately is going to go away. All the money or whatever I got in life, all my friends, all my big positions, all those things that I used to take pride in, and they are all transitory. They are going to vanish. All the fame that I had, it doesn't going to last too much. People are going to forget me sooner than I think. It is, one should remind oneself of that. And so look at the true goal of our life, that moksha, and get liberation. Realize the divinity in you. And that is going to bring fulfillment. Otherwise, nothing else can bring fulfillment. Many Upanishads are replete with these thoughts, that in Kathopanishad, Nachiketa was told by his teacher there, that Yama, that why are you asking about the secret of life and death? I can give you all money that you want. And actually he presents it, not that it was an empty promise. Here you take it. And this Nachiketa says, Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo. By money, nobody can ever be made satisfied. I don't care for that. A very important thing. Another Upanishad, that is a wonderful idea there. A husband is renouncing the world, but he had lot of money. So he is dividing the money between his two wives. He had two wives. So says that, okay, here is dividing, money is divided between you two, you now take. The one wife says, okay, fine. The other says, well, is that money going to make me immortal? And Yajnavalkya replies, that sage replies, that no, nobody can. The words are very telling, difficult to actually translate fully. That he says there that amritatvasya tu nashasti vittena, that even the hope of fulfillment is not possible through money. A very categorical statement, friends. And therefore, these ideas, they can be they put the values in their proper perspective. Otherwise, our condition becomes like a person got so infatuated with the idea that he has to build a stable. He had a horse and so wanted to build stable for the horse. And so to raise money, he sold the horse and built the stable. So what is now the stable for? So the values get all overturned. So therefore it is very important that we put the value system in our education, formal as well as informal. And it is a big responsibility. It is not only limited to individuals, as I am saying about the communities, about the nations and so forth. When a nation becomes very affluent, yes, we want to eradicate poverty. So yes, bring more. And then what happens in a nation? Two things. One is the gap between the poor in that nation and the rich in that nation goes on increasing. That is one of the symptoms of the affluenza of a nation. The nation is so affluent. Look at the mansions, and the nation is so poor. Look at the increasing population of homeless people right here in Providence. This is the sign of a very serious affluenza. Also, what happens next is that this, on the basis of my money, our nation has lot of money, and so we can twist the arms of other nations to fall in line. So, arrogance, national arrogance builds up. That yes, we have money, we can do whatever we want. We have money and the power that comes with it. So, other nations have to fall in line, otherwise, So, this is a national level of affluenza, and historically it has happened to many, many countries when they become affluent, including India. In India too, this has happened historically when the country became very prosperous. Then, they shunned the values. Swami Vivekananda has given a very graphic description of that how in India, the caste divisions, the distinctions between poor and rich, that became so much, and they shunned the outer people outside the world, calling them, slighting them, calling them lechas. And he writes a very great statement. He has written it in his letters and also spoken it from the pulpit, that he says that the day Indians discovered this word, mlecha, means slighting the non-Indians. The day they discovered this word, mlecha, the downfall of the country began. And that is what happened to Roman Empire, the great, big Roman Empire. What happened? Affluenza. Not only the people, the whole nation collapsed. And many thinkers in America right now are comparing the conditions of the downfall, the decadence of the Roman Empire, and the conditions that we see prevalent in American society. So, we should take proper steps to get rid of this affluenza and make good use of the proper resources. This is a country, this is a society with a lot of goodness abounding. Let us put it all together in a streamlined way so that our resources are properly utilized. They will help us instead of hurting us. Thank you, friends.